Hello and welcome to Soul in Balance. My name's Alicia and I'll be bringing you a report on the new moon in Aries. That'll be happening on the 5th of April at 7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So it's been a time of just endings across the board, and some of us, well, for some of us it's fairly frightening, and for others it's quite liberating. So yes, it depends of what area of life this is going to be affecting you and what kind of endings are happening, but realistically all these endings are happening so we can move into the new, so we can move into our new frequency and new vibration. A lot of the things that are going and fading away at this time aren't of service to us anymore. They're not resonating with us anymore. As we have been evolving and ascending in so many ways, we don't need these old structures and foundations anymore. We're really being asked to clear them out at this time. So stay tuned and I'll bring you the report. Also, if you would like to keep up to date with the moon cycles and how they affect you each month and each fortnight, please subscribe to my channel so you know what's going on. Alrighty, so new moon in Aries. Now this new moon will be happening at 15 degrees of Aries. And as we all know, Aries is all about I am the am that I am, and this is what I want, and this is where I'm going, and this is what I'm going to take, and this is what I'm going to start. So as Chiron is there, Chiron is the wounded healer. It's where we're wounded in a collective. As that is also in Aries, it really is highlighting where we are wounded in that sense of I am. So all of us are going through a process the next 8 years to understand where we're wounded in the self. You know, a lot of us didn't get that nurturing that we needed in, our early lives. So a lot of us, have had to be codependent or, survive in some way that was a little bit toxic or probably wasn't the best, but just so we could get our needs met. But at this time, we've really had to learn that, hey, all we need is our own validation and love. All we need is our own support and care. So at this time, at this new moon, it really is a great time to, put some emphasis on, hey, I'm amazing just as I am. I can accomplish anything I want to accomplish. Just loving yourself. Like, if you think about a newborn baby, they don't care what anyone else thinks. If they have a pooey nappy or if they, want something, they want something. They don't sit there and think, oh, what's these other people going to think? Or here it's just, this is what I am, this is what I need. And this is where we're all needing healing. So definitely at this time, we are really needing to, evolve in this way and meet our own needs and see our own worth and see how we can accomplish anything. And we also need to go to the polarity point of this new moon, which is Libra. So how can we integrate other people and our relationships into our new direction, into our new selves? So if we love and support ourselves and honor our worth, how can we have better relationships with people from that standpoint? So at this time, it really is, a big deal about the self. So if you can have a look at and reflect on some of your interactions with other people or your dynamics in your life or, any of those types of things, so you can see where you're showing up for yourself, where you're in your highest potential, not running from an old program to get your needs met or, negative self-talk and things like that. So realistically at this time, it really is a time of healing the self, coming into the self, believing in the self and honoring the self. I am the am that I am. So yes, it is a fairly magical time, and adding to this amazing new moon is the fixed star Alpheratz. Now, Alpheratz is part of the Andromeda galaxy, and this fixed star is also part of the great square of Pegasus. So this fixed star represents fame and fortune and grace and lots of amazing things. So if you're starting something new right now, if you are letting go of old programs, if you are moving into a new direction and just wanting to be a better version of yourself, we are really getting a helping hand from this fixed star that's going to be at 14 degrees of Aries. So yes, at this time, you could just have some radical breakthroughs in a new business idea or creative venture. It really is a time of just magical events. Even though it doesn't feel like it, even though we're letting go of so much, we can at this time just be so focused on the drive forward, because everything is just crumbling behind us. Like there's literally just rubble and dust all the way back. So yes, for a lot of us, it is just about just keep putting one foot in front of the other. But just know at this time with this fixed star here, it is saying if you just keep going forward, if you keep honoring yourself and being your highest potential, you will get that grace, you will get that fame, you will get that fortune, you will get that blessing. Also at this time, I think it is a great idea to have some stones that represent, or some crystals that represent what this new moon means, and also the representation of Mars as well. So a good crystal or a good stone that I have is jasper. There's a lot of it in Australia and there's a lot of it all over the world. And also red coal. So this ring is also a really great stone for Aries, for Mars, getting that passion and that drive going, honoring the self, the highest potential of the self. Because if we represent our highest form and we're moving in the direction of the new and just letting it all fall apart behind us, then we're going to have all the blessings that we need. So if you can surround yourself with maybe something red or red stones even, it's really, going to help with that vibration of energy and that drive forward at this time. So another exciting theme for this new moon in Aries is going to be the Sabian symbol that will be at this degree, which with all Sabian symbols, we move to the following degree, which is 16 degrees of Aries. And it is just such in correlation with the theme that's going on. So I'll read you what it is. So we've got nature spirits are seen at work in the light of the sunset. Key note, attunement to the potency of the invisible forces of nature. So I see that as surrendering to a higher source, surrendering to the divine, surrendering to energy that is beyond us and letting that lead the way. We all operate from our ego. We operate from our little person. We don't operate necessarily from our higher self. We don't always let the divine and, things happen for us. We always have to control and manipulate and, make sure this happens. And, we create so much anxiety and tension. And in a lot of ways, we block that energetic flow from the universe. We get in the way, we think negatively about it, or we try and control the channel that it goes through. So in a lot of ways we aren't getting what we actually could be getting from the universe. And sometimes we're in such a state of lack consciousness that we don't even believe that we deserve these things. So something that I've definitely been going through over the last couple of weeks is to surrender to that divine, surrender to God, Goddess, or to the universe, or whatever that energy is a representation for you. But at this time, because it is so hard to control right now, things are just falling apart. We literally are walking blindly into nothing with nothing to hold on to. And we've all been kind of asked just to trust. And part of trusting is just allowing and inviting and letting the energy flow through us, be a vessel for source. So if we want something and we ask the universe, hey, I want this in my life, we'll step back and allow that to happen. Allow the universe to work through you. And I have been listening to this amazing astrologer and writer. Her name is Tosha Silver, and she wrote a book called Outrageous Openness, and I've been listening to that on Audible, as I don't really read anymore. I just listen to everything on Audible because I'm like highly dyslexic, but I've been listening to it over and over for the last 2 weeks, and it is so amazing. Like literally just allowing energy to flow through us so we can have what we want. We don't need to be using all our energy and our mind power and totally depleting ourselves to get our needs met. We can actually have them all divinely met. And one of the things in the book is to create a God box, a box where whatever you want, you just believe you've already got it, and then put it in the box and don't even think about it. When we constantly think about what we want and interfere in the process, we're less likely to get what we want, and we're less likely to see the signs to, you know, take that road to get what we want. So I've started this God box. So everything that I want, I've put in this God box, and I believe that the outcome has already been chosen for me, and I just have to wait for synchronicities or signals to know which way to flow. And I think that is what this Sabian symbol is saying, is to allow the, you know, spirit energies and the nature energies to flow through us in a divine sense. So if we all can just let go of control, and trust me, I know how hard that is, just let go of control and to trust and just allow and just see what unfolds. And it's a process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. But I think as we evolve, as we start to, you know, be higher beings, we need to understand that the energy source from the universe is going to be flowing through us. So it's something that we need to start doing anyway, moving forward. So if you haven't heard of Tosha Silver, I suggest you do get the book Outrageous Openness. It's bloody amazing. And yeah, start a God box. Start a box where you just put what you want in a box and you put it away and you don't even think about it. If it comes into your mind, you think it's already sorted, it's in the box, you know, and then you just wait for it to come to you, wait for signals to move or do something about it. So yes, amazing stuff. So get on that. Okay, so strangely at this new moon, there actually isn't many aspects. They are quite limited, but at the same time, that doesn't mean there's not much work to do either. There is actually a lot of work to do. We have gone through so much. We have let go of so much has just fallen away, so much is broken down. Like, there's just been absolute chaos and there is rubble everywhere. So at this time, we really are needing to, one, honor ourselves 100%. Like, honor our worth, honor what we need, support ourselves. And it also, if we're in situations where we're not being supported, then we need to support ourselves enough to say something and do something about it in a healthy way where both people can understand and benefit from change and meet each other in the middle. So just say at work, there's a dynamic where, you know, somebody might be mistreating you. So you need to be able to explain, hey, this is how I feel. How are you feeling right now? How can we meet each other in the middle and work together and both be happy so, you know, we can have a better time at work? Or same with relationships, you know, how are you feeling? This is how I'm feeling. How can we meet each other in the middle so we both can feel safe, we both can trust, and we both can get our needs met if we're both meeting our own needs within ourselves. So yeah, it is a hard time. We are really needing to, you know, take the higher road, you know, use our higher self perspective and sort through some of the rubble, what needs to come forward in our journey and what needs to definitely stay behind in the, you know, in the shit show. It's not going in the direction that you're going. So it is a tough time, and with Venus and Neptune and Mercury, which has gone direct all together there in Pisces, there can be a lot of confusion, especially in relationships. So there can also be things of just downright deceit where you are absolutely being lied to. You've had the wool pulled over your eyes, but also in a sense that information, that truth is there if you look a little harder, or if you're willing to take off the rose-colored glasses, or you know what I mean, see things for what they really are. So just be aware that this is happening. It's not just in relationships. It can be with family, it can be with work, it can be with friends. But if you're already on the journey of honoring yourself, if you're already, you know, doing the work, you'll be able to see what's real and what's not. I think the people that are going to be more affected are the people that have just had their head in the sand and don't want to change, just want things to stay the way they are. That's where we're going to be seeing more rude awakenings. But, you know, it's not to say that if, you know, something happens, you're not going to be a little shaken up by it, but you're already on the process. You're already honoring yourself. You're already supporting yourself. You're already moving into the new. So when things start to fall apart, or things just turn out like a disaster area out of nowhere, you've got that structure behind you. You've already been doing that work. So look, it is a tough time. I'm not going to say that it's not, and there is a lot of work to do, even though there's not many aspects at this new moon, but we're just having to, in a way, sort out the mess of what's happened these last couple of months, these last few weeks, with Mercury going retrograde in Pisces, which is, you know, epic confusion in so many ways. We've had so many things happen, especially with, you know, like Facebook shutting down and Instagram shutting down, and, you know, so many big corporations having issues, and especially like the internet wasn't even working properly. So yeah, there's been a lot going on. So we're really just sorting through all the mess, and especially with South Node in a Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, and Saturn in Capricorn, all so close together. Like, it really is just throwing our past dynamics at us, our past life stuff that we're also here to clear. So it is a time of just getting rid of our old structures. And for some people, that's just going to be so relieving. I know myself, it's just like, sweet, I can finally take off all this rubbish. For other people, it might be a little harder. There are a lot of people that are very fixed and do not like change. They do not want to do the work, and that is fine. Sometimes some people have been running away from their pain for a really, really long time, and it makes it a lot harder the longer that you run, and I understand. But there is so much help. It's not going to be as hard as you think. So if you are somebody who has kept your head in the sand and still done your old way of doing things, even though you know it doesn't work, have a little faith that if you just put that one step forward, or if you just change your mind to do something different, you will be supported 100%. It won't be as hard as what you think. So yeah, at this time, we really, really do need to be just, you know, putting that one foot in front of the other. And like I said just before, is just trusting and allowing the universe to work through us, to show us what is best for us, so we can have a bloody amazing life. Like, we don't have to keep running these old patriarchy programming and conditioning anymore. Like, I don't know if anyone else has felt the amazing uplifting energy as we're evolving and transforming. Like, the potential for what you want and happiness is better than ever before. So it really is a time just to have some blind faith, you know, like, just trust. So another aspect that we have going on is Mars in Gemini, which is sextiling out to Chiron in Aries. So that can be around communication. Have we been able to communicate our needs properly? You know, like, for a lot of us, it's really hard to be honest about what we really want. Some people, you know, lie about what they want and, you know, pretend that's not what they want and then go about it in another way. Some people just don't even say what they want because they don't even believe they can get their needs met, or they're maybe even scared that someone will say no to them. And at this time, we're really being asked to, hey, check in with our voice, you know, check in with our throat chakra. If we're having situations where we're getting a sore throat, like, and also, we can also tell by which side of the throat who the problem or what we're not expressing. So if you're having a sore throat on, say, the left side, because the left side of the body represents the feminine, so it can be that you're not expressing how you feel to a female in your life. And your intuition will tell you straight away who that person is. Like, you'll just know as soon as you think about your throat, you think about, okay, here's a woman I'm not expressing myself to, you will automatically just see that person in your mind, or you'll just know. And same with the right side. If you're getting, you know, a sore throat on the right side, that is a male that you're not expressing what you need or how you're feeling. So it really is important, especially from a health sense, to say how you feel. You don't have to say nasty things to someone. You don't have to abuse someone. You don't have to, you know, manipulate. You can just say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This makes me feel really shit. It's really important that we learn to express. So at this time, really concentrate on what are you not expressing, you know, where can you be, like, even just someone that you're grateful for, like, say, you know, thank you for doing that for me. I really appreciate what you've done to support me. Or, you know, somebody who's hurt you. It could be something that's happened 6 months ago, something that's happened 8 years ago, whatever it is. Go and write it down, or go and say it to that person. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't have to necessarily be an argument, but at least get it out. Even say it in front of the mirror, or if this person is no longer here, like, there's so many ways that we can express ourselves, but at this time we're really being asked to express how we're feeling, express our desires. It can be sexual needs, what you need sexually from a partner. Like, that is also really, really important. Our sexual unions and getting our desires met is important, and that is what keeps relationships together. If you don't express how you're feeling, then in a way you start to resent your partner because you just expected them to know what you wanted. And in a lot of ways, you know, especially women need to, you know, learn to say what they want. And so yes, there is, you know, a lot of emphasis on communicating what you need, communicating what's hurting you, communicating what you're no longer tolerating. So yes, there is a big thing with communication at this time. Alrighty, so the last aspect that I'm going to discuss at this video is the South Node Pluto Capricorn opposite the North Node in Cancer. Now, with all the breaking down of old structures, with all the letting go of our old selves and our old foundations and all those old things that are slowly starting to disappear right now, we really need to be focusing on how we feel about things. And I know that is hard. But what I've been doing and what I've been advising a lot of my own clients in healing sessions is to how to see what needs to go is, how does it feel? Like, how does it feel when you think about it? Does it bring joy or does it bring pain and sorrow? That is how you kind of know what needs to go. So at this time, I've been cleaning out my clothes, and I have a shit ton of clothes. I don't know if it's my Taurus ascendant, but I really do like to hold a little bit of clothes. So I've been cleaning out my clothes, and I've been like holding the clothes to my heart and asking, like, do I need this? Does this make me feel good? And when was the last time I wore it? And I kind of noticed that when I put the clothes to my heart, I'd either fall back or I'd fall forward. So the clothes that were making me fall back, I thought, yeah, all right, that's time for that clothes to go. Or that certain item had a bad memory to it, so I let that go too. Or something that I hadn't worn in a year. I think having a year time frame on letting go of clothes is a big thing. Yeah, so at this time we're really needing to be honoring our emotions. So if you're trying to hold on to something, either an old part of yourself, a relationship, a job, any kind of structure in your life that doesn't make you feel good, that doesn't make you feel safe, that is a really good indication that old structure needs to go. Now, it's really hard because we have had all these old structures for a really long time, but we are really being called right now just to let it go. I really don't know many people that are holding on to their old stuff. I think that everyone I've seen on social media is just talking about, you know, how they're moving into the new and how the old has just fallen off and they've just had no attachment to it. It's like this magical occurrence has happened and all our old attachments and emotions to things have just been disconnected along with it as well. So it's been absolutely amazing. But if you are struggling, you know, check in with your emotions. Your emotions will always direct you onto what is best for you. Or even, you know, if you're like me and you're needing to get rid of a lot of clothes, yeah, you know, put that item to your heart, and does it make you feel good, or is it something that you know needs to go? So so I'm going to get a card from one of my oracle decks. So I thought it would be pretty fitting to use the Sacred Rebel deck. And I do love this deck. It's got amazing pictures, amazing themes, and the information that comes through is really radical. So yes, so I'll wait for a card to come out, and hopefully it can be helpful, for everyone watching. As a little bit of a helping hand at this new moon if you are struggling. So I got Release the Dark Wound, Let Love In. So that is pretty cool. So I'll just read what this card means, and in this deck there is a lot of information per card, so I'll kind of just read the main topic so you understand what's going on. Release the dark wound and let love in. You have to let go of the death grip of perfectionism and let yourself and your ideas live. Love is abundant, creative and inspiring. It moves us so much more joyously and creatively than fear. You are being asked to honor your path of your own love that inspires you. What feels exciting, joyful, and perhaps even rather different, let that live. Release the dark wounding of false belief. There are countless stories of vastly successful artists who nearly binned a project that was the making of their career because of the despair fostered by their own dark nature. They doubted, they were uncertain, and they were critical of their own work. So at this time, we're being asked to follow our heart and express what we truly want to express. And the theme here is, affirmation is, I now choose my own free will to release all cellular memories and belief systems based in the dark wound of criticism, judgment, shaming, and fear, so that my creative and loving energy may thrive in a nourishing environment conducted to growth. Through all time and space, through all dimensions of my being, unconditional love, so it be. So definitely, just like this whole theme has been about, it's about supporting yourself and also letting the divine come in and help you, you know, letting go of that critical mind, what we're saying to each other, believe in ourselves and move forward in the direction that we want to go in our creativity. And we also have that fixed star, you know, giving us that fame and fortune and blessings in our, you know, new creative adventures. So definitely, if you've got something going on and you're being critical of yourself and you're thinking about throwing it away, or you're thinking about ditching that idea, don't do it. Keep moving forward, even though it's not coming together right now, even if you feel like something isn't working and you've got this really radical, crazy idea to make something turn out, then, you know, keep going, keep, you know, going in the direction of your heart and your creativity. But ultimately, just let go of the criticism. And I said it a lot in my last video, actually, you know, check in with what you're saying to yourself. Like, we say so many negative things to ourselves day in and day out, even when we're trying to be positive. So, you know, like I said last video as well, is to start a love journal, like first thing in the morning or when you go to bed, is you say all the things you love about yourself, even if you don't love it yet, or, you know, whatever it is. So we really need to be checking our internal dynamics, because what's going on internally is what's going to be going on externally. We're going to be constantly seeing what we're believing. So yeah, super important right now. Okay, so that is it for me with the new moon in Aries. I hope everybody has a magical new moon in Aries, as it is next to Alpha, which really is a fixed star of fortune and blessings and yeah, abundance. So just keep moving forward, you know, like forget about the stuff in the past. Like leave all that rubble and dust behind. And I know how hard it is to step into the nothingness. It really is. You just need to see that next step and then just take it, and then see the light being shone on the second step and just take it. We don't always need to see the big picture. We don't always need to control everything. We don't always need to be able to see what's ahead. Sometimes we just need to trust. And as we all are here on a soul level, changing this planet, you know, we have to expect that there is going to be times when we just can't see what's going on. Sometimes change, and the best change, is when we can't see. We just have faith and we just believe that something better is coming, better than what we've known in the past. So yes, if you can do that, if you can just trust and believe in yourself and support yourself 100%, you know, these next few weeks and months are going to be so much easier for you. So yes, at this time, I wish you many soul journey blessings and have a happy new moon in Aries.